10 years ago, Quint Studer recruited Beth Keane to Studer Group for her expertise in leadership and communication. A former corporate coach, Beth is now a sought-after national Studer Group speaker, providing presentations for both large and small hospitals, medical groups, and emergency rooms. Please welcome Beth Keane.
Thank you. I am delighted to be here for two reasons. One of them is you are truly what's right in healthcare. And the other is I had a bout with cancer in 2009, and my legacies from that are white hair and a lot of gratitude for every day. So I'm very, very glad we could share this day. I want to talk a little bit about spinach in your teeth. And the takeaways from my 10 minutes will be that coaching is caring. We often equate coaching with criticism. We hear the word feedback and we think criticism. And that templates make it easier to coach, to deliver hard messages, and also to thank each and every one of you for what you do. So, how many perfect people do we have in the audience? If you sit next to one, why grab them? So we all get spinach in our teeth. In other words, we all make mistakes. We all sometimes trip, and many times it's unintentional. And I think the question is, who tells us? Somebody told me before I came onto stage that I had lipstick on my teeth. Now, who are the people that tell you, if you're a male, that your zipper's unzipped, or if you're a female, that you have lipstick on your teeth? Who are the people that tell you? Your friends, people that care about you. And yet, we do seem to have this feeling that coaching is hard, that if we deliver anything that might be construed as negative, that it won't be well received. And we have to keep this in the context of what Leah Binder talked about earlier this morning. We have too many never events. We absolutely must be able to deliver messages peer-to-peer and horizontally, vertically, every single way. And when this really came home to me, that coaching was caring, was when I was on a flight coming into Atlanta, and I was deplaning behind this really gorgeous guy. I mean, just, my husband is not here, impeccably dressed. I think his shoes cost more than my car. However, attached to one of his shoes was about 3 feet of toilet paper. And I think God has a sense of humor. I am deplaning behind this guy. We go up the jetway, and I'm behind him. We go through the entire B concourse of Atlanta, and I'm behind him, down the escalator. Now, do you think I ever said anything to him? Oh, thank you. I must have impressed you as a really caring person. But that's not true. I did. I'm sorry. I didn't. Now, what I did do, thank you for those of you that said yes, as I walked through the entire B concourse going, sort of in an effort to snag the toilet paper, which I never could do. But I mean, I did try, and my penance is I have to tell this story to you. And I didn't tell him because I didn't know him. And he looked intimidating to me. And I wasn't invested in his success. Now, if that had been my mother with toilet paper on her shoe, would I have told her? Absolutely. If it had been my sister, would I have told her? It's a little squishier. But, it's so important that we as organizations reframe coaching as caring so that we're not afraid to give hard messages to each other. And in terms of what Bob talked about and connecting to the why, we want to remember that people who don't care don't coach. And I want to just give you a real quick template. And the important piece of this template, and the way that it works, we start off with the when you or when I see this happening, and you can use whatever word you want to. But the important piece is, this is the impact. This is the impact organizationally on our commitment to patient care, on our ability to execute our mission, and to connect to that why. So, and the big reason behind this, if I have someone at a desk talking about patients in an area where other patients can hear. Now, most of us have not only standards, but that's a violation of HIPAA. But look at the difference in impact. If I say to someone, I don't want you to talk about patients where other patients can hear, it's a violation of HIPAA. Okay, well, but what if I say, our patients hear you and they assume that we talk about them? And then they become afraid to share medical information with us. And the worst scenario would be that we could have an interaction of different medicines and someone could die. Now, compare the impact. HIPAA versus dying. And so we can certainly strengthen our coaching by using a template in which we connect back to that why. And we can add other pieces to it in order to kind of soften it up, sort of like a submarine sandwich to make it more tasty. We can add asking permission, why I'm talking with you. Then we have the core information. I understand that, and supplying people benefit of the doubt. Also, because we both want, and again, reestablishing that common goal and wrapping up with an affirmation, and what can I do to help? Anytime we have a hard message and we wrap up with what can I do to help, we've developed ownership with that person. So I encourage you to consider training all your people in how to have hard conversations, because they're so important. We truly have lives at stake, and we have to be able to coach each other. So takeaways, I hope, from these 10 minutes with you: coaching is caring, templates make it easier. These are the reason that I do what I do. And this is my thank you. These are my oldest sons, these twin babies, and the child on the left is named Tristan, the child on the right is named Harper. And these boys were born at 23 weeks and 1 day. And I can tell that many of you know how precarious that is. They weighed 1 pound and 1 ounce. So they were the size of a pound of butter package. They were born at University of Pennsylvania Hospital. The only reason they survived is there were 9 neonatologists there. And when the kids survived a week, we as a family very foolishly thought that we were out of the woods. And on October the 9th of that year, and the kids had been living in the NICU, and so had we as a family. I was fortunate enough to be visiting my son and his wife, Wendy, when they called us from the hospital and said, "You have to come to the NICU right now." And Wendy said, "I can't come this morning. I have a terrible cold." And they said, "Come now. Tristan is in really bad shape." We got to the hospital, and they had a white screen set around 2 isolettes. They'd moved the boys to the end of the NICU, and they had chairs set up in a semicircle. And they let us say goodbye to Tristan, give him a bath, disconnected life support, pass him around, and all sort of have a parting time with him. Now, the reason I share this story with you is because there were two other people there. One was Tristan's primary nurse in the NICU. She sat with us the whole 4 hours that it took Tristan to say goodbye. It was her day off. His primary physician was there the last 2 hours of his life. I know she had rounds. I know she had appointments. They didn't do anything. They were just there for us. And my thank you to you is that out of that tragedy, we have this beautiful child. Harper just turned 1, and this is because of you. And I personally want to thank you for every hard night you've put in, every time you've taken someone else's shift, every time you've extended yourself for a patient. You truly are what's right in healthcare. And I thank you for what you do from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.